Welcome back to Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters, a podcast where we chart the cinematic legacy of the classic monsters. I'm John Campbell. With me, as always, Brendan Jones.
The cinematic legacy of the classic monsters. And we occasionally watch Underworld.
Hey, look, these have been around long enough. These have been around long enough that they are now, I guess Selene is one of our classic monsters.
She is certainly a franchisable character. Not so much her beloved, which they seem to have...
They cannot wait to kick this guy to the curb.
I will just say that, and we will all three talk about perhaps the least successful chosen one in cinematic history.
Could be. But you say three because, of course, if you're a listener of this show and we're talking Underworld, then you know that means the return of Mike Gorgone.
Oh.
Hey, everyone. I've been frozen for a few years. Did I miss anything in the vampire genre?
No.
Hey, Michael Pop. How you doing?
I'm seeing visions from somebody else's point of view. I don't know what's happening, but
tastes all corvinous. Yeah. Welcome, Mr.
That
Gorgone.
bloodline of the immortals in me. Oh boy.
How many times in the theater did you watch Underworld Awakening?
Goose egg.
Yeah, this one you didn't go to the theater to see?
Look, we're coming into the back half of this franchise with the full understanding that there are two films in the Underworld film universe that are lesser than, let us say.
There is a distinct, because I was saying this to you, Brendan, that the other day when we were talking about that this was coming up, and I was saying this, and I think I even previewed this on the last one. This is not a full, but it's kind of a soft reboot, right? This is the distinct new trajectory for the there's the first three movies.
They probably, due to reluctance of a major cast member to come back, I think that they were just like, well, we just got to move it forward, so less a reboot than a hey guys, remember what's going on, because the third one was a prequel, so they're trying to get their footing again and say, nope, still vampires and werewolves fighting, but now it's in the future.
It's a restaging or resetting, or what we would say repilot in TV, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of a
But I think it's hilarious that the time jump is only 12 years.
That's
because
I remembered it being more.
I don't even know what this world is anymore. I'm like, well, I'm sure if I had been asleep in the 2000s and woke up in 2010, I'd be like, oh, phones got smaller. I mean, come on. It's like, what? I'm not lost.
Selene is just catching up with the audience in terms of not knowing what country we're in, what city this is called, what the government is, the geography of anything.
They never tell us. I love that.
And this
it's
one...
like, wait, this seems everywhere that vampires roost, and they've been doing this for centuries, living underneath or hidden away from humanity. I'm like going, medieval castle-y dungeon-like structures? Is this New York? Where the hell is it supposed to be?
By the way, they've ditched the big move here, and this one is no. They're just out in the open now. Fuck the Underworld concept entirely. We already weren't fully committed to it.
That coven is still living in a hidden away gothic.
They are still hiding, but the vampire and werewolf,
they exist. Yeah,
that's
also,
the big thing that
John,
happened. Yeah.
That completely ignores the huge twist of this movie, which is, what if there are layers to the Underworld? What if the Illuminati of Lycans that is in charge of the big corporate conspiracy is actually a separate Underworld from the first Underworld?
Sorry.
Man.
I don't mean to undersell the mythology of this
This
world.
has become a lasagna of the supernatural. There are layers.
Yeah, and one of those
hit the ricotta cheese, ladies.
One of those layers, I'm told, is an underworld. I don't know. Anyway, yes, Underworld Awakening from 2012. This is the fourth, although the third of the Selene movies. And I think, if anything, the existence of this movie to me, and I remember seeing the trailers for this when it came out and going like, it's more of a referendum on Kate Beckinsale's career, because I think she was happy to leave the Underworld franchise in the dust and let it go with the prequel movie, and then I think some other starring vehicles didn't take off. And hey, I'll slap on that leather catsuit again.
And as is the case with almost all of them, well, obviously not the third. She's the selling point. She still delivers. The only problem is that
She's
they
as
haven't
earnest
thought
as
of
ever.
anything new to do with her except for the very brief touches of her being maternal. That's a new thing.
And that's
but
the
really
big...
that's the only new flavor, because she is still, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been looking for a film to really satisfy your cravings for people dropping to the, dropping down, this is it. Because every scene is someone, usually Selene, completing a leap and just dropping down. You're like, got it.
Or assuming a feral position of attack.
Feral position or hero pose. And it is to be expected of any action hero, but she is just comic book posing from one end of this movie to the other. It's like, oh, there she is with the double guns. She's going to do the sweep. She's going to have her arms out. Here she's going to, her cloak, not cloak, but her trench coat's going to flap. It's like, okay, we
Brendan,
get it.
I don't know if you remember this, but the first movie clearly establishes that they saw the opening scene of The Matrix and never looked back. That's what the Underworld franchise is built on.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That you can actually, if you look closely, see a watermark of trademark
where they just copy and pasted some Matrix images.
Copy and pasted some something like. No, can we digitally remove Carrie-Anne Moss's face and put?
That's I mean, it does feel like that in places. That's the crazy thing, though. By the time we're getting to 2012, the Matrix franchise is long in the past at this point, and yet they're still ripping off the Matrix. It's crazy.
Well, they settled on their aesthetic. Day one of the first,
and by that you mean they settled on the Wachowskis' aesthetic.
Yes, and they found their lens. They said, "Ooh, blue, that's nice."
Yeah.
Here's one thing that really bugs me, and I know we're not into the plot yet, or even talking about poster and so forth. But okay, this is just a sweeping thing. Maybe as a director of an Underworld film, if you are doing another one,
this one has two directors, so yeah.
Oh, two directors. I didn't even look.
This is a duo.
So here's what I would recommend. If, especially now that we are above ground for a lot of it because humanity is aware of them and they're fighting and and if we spend any time whatsoever with normal humans, make it look like they pay their light bill. Maybe as contrast, maybe the scenes of the above ground humanity, you could have a brightly lit library room, or like they have in this thing, or whatever his office space is, any lab, or when you're out in the open, let's have sunlight, because that would contrast nicely when you're in Selene's blue lit world. To come up out of that would be a nice visual jolt. Instead, the humans of this world live in a vampiric blue lit world too.
But Brendan, do we even see anyone untouched by the Underworld in this movie? Even the one human cop character had a vampire wife who burned to death. They're all in the darkness.
And he needs to tell you that, like,
tragic backstory delivered, like,
oh,
my wife was one of you.
Yeah, and let me just do that real quick. Just real quick. Gotta let you know.
On this car ride to the third act.
Yeah, let me just... Hold on. I got it. This movie's running out of time. I gotta get my backstory in. Hold on.
Get in. I'll take you to the third act. Hey,
I mean, that's literally what happens.
Yeah.
You want to know why I'm so okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Because I know you're not all bad.
Oh, man. Let's talk about, well, Brendan, you bring up the poster. What poster? It's just Kate Beckinsale with her guns and her leather outfit. And the tagline, Vengeance Returns? What?
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Vengeance for what?
Yeah, I don't really know.
And well, I mean, in this movie, I guess she's out for revenge because she was kidnapped, forced to carry a baby to term, and the love of her life was stuck in a fridge.
I mean,
man, I have so many questions about how the baby came along.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that if they're saying if she went into the ice 12 years ago, and she was pregnant at the time, let's say, and somehow they were able to deliver the baby while not waking her. Because she would have to be thawed to, but somehow they
Oh, this movie love this. There's a lot of hand wavy shit in this movie.
This is so hand wavy because not only is she delivered to term, but the daughter seems to have been allowed to grow, and yet she seems to be confused by this modern world when she breaks her mom out.
Yeah.
Plus, let's say vampires also deliver after 9 months. So we're talking about an 11-year-old girl.
Yeah.
An 11-year-old played by a 19-year-old, but yeah.
And I don't know if this was the first thing she ever did, but this is, I guess, very early in India Isley.
Yeah. This
very
is pretty
beautiful
early.
young woman, daughter of one of the most beautiful actresses of
This is her first movie. Like, literally.
Olivia Hussey's daughter.
Yeah, she has an uncredited role in something when she was a little kid, but this is basically her first on-screen acting role.
She's okay.
Well, I know she's. Here's the thing with this movie: almost everyone in this movie has a way better cast than it should have.
Actually, I will totally agree.
Almost everyone in this movie.
When you see Wes Bentley as tech guy number one, I was like, "What the?" Fuck?
I gotta say, there's a lot of things I don't like about this movie. The criminal underuse of Wes Bentley is maybe at top of the list.
I think literally that was a favor.
He must have known.
It's like, could you do a day? And he's like, yeah, sure.
You know,
and
Kate's got Wes Bentley's number, and we need some,
Because
the fact that Charles Dance is wasted in 2 scenes.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
just insane.
Don't worry, fellas. He comes back for Blood Wars. So
I did look ahead and saw that he returns.
Yeah.
Because they clearly the casting director here was just like, okay, Bill Nighy, very, very dead. And he has been since the first movie, but that hasn't stopped us from bringing him back a couple of times.
No, that's a note in the trivia. This is the first time that neither Bill Nighy nor Michael Sheen shot any footage for an Underworld movie.
Right. But what's our poor man's Bill Nighy? And that's gotta feel like such a kick to the shin to Charles Dance.
Because he's not.
He's a great actor in his own right. Yeah. But it's totally different energy.
But it is like we need old British, solid stage trained actor. Somebody needs to be doing that
with amazing bone structure.
I mean,
that's almost always the thing. It's like, we got to have someone that has that.
Well,
look.
number one, you're like vampire Charles Dance. I see it. But the guy actually Dance is slumming it, but the guy who's really, really, really slumming it is Stephen Ray. What is Stephen?
Exactly.
Stephen Ray is such an amazing actor, and actually, this is an incredibly underwritten role. Crushes and brings gravitas to this incredibly stupid role. He's great in this movie.
Delivering jibber jabber nonsense dialogue.
And I'm just going, God damn it.
And I think he's doing American.
I think he is. Yeah.
If he is,
what accent is anyone doing?
He's very. He's mushed his accent.
He's
down.
not. He's definitely not Irish
in it.
No,
there's occasional maybe Britishy, but he sounds like he's kind of doing American. And I'm like, good on you, Stephen Ray. I hope he is amused. I hope he had a good time on set. He's like, oh, is today I get the black contacts.
I hope his beach house. I hope the beach house this bottom is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Was that actually him and all the makeup in the last act?
I don't think so.
No.
Be shocked.
At least that first part of the transformation where he's revealed, it's supposed to be the big reveal, and he's got the black eyes,
contacts.
Maybe he's got the lower teeth.
I sincerely doubt revered Irish character actor Stephen Ray is putting on lichen makeup.
But I do agree. Almost across the board, even the non-big names like Pretty Lady Scientist. I've seen her in a lot of things,
Sandrine
and I know
Holt.
She's good.
I think Theo James is a very good actor, and he's just
Theo James is, and I'm like, hey, that must be early-ish, or at least an early.
Yeah, because they just want him to smolder.
Role.
He's just here to smolder.
Yeah, and possibly be like, hey, in case we still can't get Scott Speedman back, maybe we can set up a possible romantic.
Hey, how are the negotiations with Speedman going?
Did he actually film anything for this?
No,
or
I
did
think
they
that's
somehow digitally swap him in.
I think that's on your repurposed footage. The one shot.
So they paid him something for his likeness, but he
wasn't,
didn't have to show up.
No,
that's pretty nice.
And spoiler, he's not in the next one either. So he's out.
Wow. So the big MacGuffin of we have to find your father's body.
Well, from what I did do some digging and some research, fellas, on this movie. I did. Well, by that I mean I read the Wikipedia page.
Oh, all right.
But still, there was a lot in
Some
here.
research.
I think, from what I can gather, it was sort of a thing of, if we ditch Speedman, we can pay Beckinsale more, and she's the more important one to lure back. So I think she kind of, and then this Theo James guy, he's hunky enough, but not famous enough to. So I think there was a lot about the big goal here. I think after the last one didn't make as much as they did, was anything to get Beckinsale back. Whatever we have to do, she's the star of this franchise, and I think. Yeah, and so
it will be interested to see story-wise, not behind-the-scenes-wise, but how they sort of justify having that as a dangling thread if they never follow it up.
Yeah,
But Brendan, you think they're going to justify anything in an Underworld movie?
Well, here's something that will shock you guys. This movie never had a finished screenplay.
Yeah, no.
What?
They were rewriting
Really?
this movie day to day. Including, but I think both of you were probably struck by one of the 4 credited screenwriters on this thing, as I
I
was.
didn't even look.
J. Michael Straczynski has a writing credit on
Oh,
this.
wow.
Look, he needed a gig after Babylon 5 ended. That's what we know.
Well, this is well after Babylon 5 ended, but yeah.
But he was in the comics world for a long
Fine.
time.
After his Thor run ended, he needed a gig.
it's a great Thor run.
He's a solid guy, and I'm sure that. But I will say, there was nothing in any. It was all. When I was watching this, it all just sort of went in and out. In other words, I was barely paying attention because nothing grabbed me other than the new introduction of the mother-daughter dynamic, and I'm like, oh, that could be interesting.
Which
but
apparently,
it's not certainly anything that they hung the story.
From what
on.
I've read, is a big thing that Beckinsale pushed for. I don't want this to be a man-woman love story. I want this to be a mother-daughter tale now.
Sure. And it really isn't. It's dealt with in maybe a couple of scenes. And in fact, for a long time, they're treating that like it's a big reveal.
Yeah,
and it's like, what? She's my daughter. I'm like,
well, let's go.
All knew
let's go. Let's go through this as we always do, plot by plot. We'll go through the plot here, and we'll talk about these things. Yeah. What plot? This is one of those
A plot.
Well, this is one of those movies where
There's no B plot, but there's an A plot.
Yeah, it's incredibly simplistic.
The plot is incredibly simplistic, but like a lot of these genre movies, also needlessly complicated. There's so much so much
we need to spend the first 10 minutes of this movie both recapping the last 3 movies, but also setting up this radical new status quo.
No, I don't think I've seen a prologue do this much heavy lifting since Lord of the Rings. And that, but it is that, yes, it starts with previously on Underworld.
Yep.
For a long time, because they're like, surely you've forgotten. And then I thought it was weird that the movie goes, we can't blame you. But
that was very vulnerable.
Look, I'm sure it's Kate Beckinsale going, I'm sure you've all forgotten, and that's okay. I get it. You've been busy.
Let's mostly use footage from the 3rd one, because honestly, it's kind of the most radical of the 3.
and was just basically a 90-minute exposition dump. So she tells us all that, and then I'm not sure I've ever seen a movie do previously on, and then, okay, now I need another 10 minutes to tell you what's happening right now in the world. And yes, the whole thing here is that sometime after the second movie, because as we recall, the 3rd movie jumped in the past, so sometime after the second movie, war between the humans and the Lycan vampire war broke onto the surface, and humans got involved.
Well, it seems to me, and I'm just going to... Something we often do when we're trying to disassemble movies that don't make a ton of sense is start with the end and work our way backwards, right?
Yes.
So
fair. Yeah.
The final twist here that's revealed is that the evil corporation that we've been dealing with the whole movie is actually being run by Lycans.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that seems to retroactively imply that it was the Lycans that brought the war to the humans in order to basically turn all of humanity against vampires and the werewolves that they didn't care for.
I didn't pick up on that. But then again,
here's
I was
the thing.
barely paying attention.
I didn't pick up on that either, but that sounds valid because there's so little that you can kind of pull on any of these threads and be like, I think you're right. I think that works with what little is said.
So instead of the Lycans just taking advantage of the war, you're saying that they actually kind of edged it into happening.
Well, it sort of depends on the timeline of Stephen Ray's character, right? Dr. I don't even remember the character's name. Dr. Lane.
Sure.
Because at some point his son gets turned, right?
Yes.
Now, does that happen before or after the quote-unquote purge?
Well, he has the line about his wife couldn't deal with what they were doing and killed herself, maybe left them is the implication. So I think that's the key piece of information, Gorgone, that makes it unclear fully. I think that's a valid theory, but I think that would be the key piece of information you would need to confirm that's what's going on. I don't know.
And again, the only asking an Underworld movie to confirm anything is a fool's errand. But the only other piece of evidence I have that sort of suggests that is the whole breakdown of information dump that Michael Ealy's character, the detective, which I was fun to see him in this movie. John, you and I both liked that show he was in, Almost Human.
I was going to say, I think we were the two biggest Almost Human stands that were out there.
I watched like an episode, but I've seen him in other stuff. Always
another really solid actor.
He's solid. The only problem is I've always been distracted by how male model he is. It's just he has like the most amazing jawline in history.
I've been in the same room as this man, and I will say he is very, very hunky in person.
Okay, man.
Gorgone, because remember he was on Stumptown as well.
Oh yeah,
I went to that
episode of that.
And Stumptown was great. The unfair, one of my most infuriating. Almost Human, you mentioned, was canceled. Stumptown was picked up and then canceled, which is, I got to say, one of the shittiest moves.
Cold.
To go like, we're gonna give it a second season, then to go actually on second thought, no, that's bullshit. But anyway, I went to.
But he's explaining to Selene that he's. He heard from a friend. Why it has to be from a friend, I don't know. But
I heard it from a friend who. I thought that was crazy when you started singing that.
That it was. What's the evil science company's name? I don't know. Aperture Science.
Well, here's the thing. Here's one of the funny things about this. Okay, because this movie was such a mess, story-wise, this is one of those things. Gorgone, we were talking about this with Alien 3 over on the IP Squad. This was a movie where the promotional material was wrong about stuff, and one of the things they started releasing trailers and promotional stuff with a different evil company name because they changed it after the fact.
Wow.
So in the movie it's called something as we're forgetting, but it was supposed to be called something else. But I just think
you really did the research.
Well, because also the movie was called Underworld New Dawn for quite a while, and then they were.
Did another franchise ruin that for some reason?
They were like, wait,
I've been asleep. I don't know.
Yeah, New Moon. They were like, oh no, you can't call it New Moon. So in the movie it's called Antigen, but it was originally called Biocom. I have no idea why they decided they needed to change that, because both are...
Maybe because they didn't do the research, and maybe there's an actual Biocom.
That would be my guess. Something. It would be something like that. But anyway...
And they're like, what? Are you kidding?
The first trailers and posters and all the stuff said Biocom. And then they were like, oh, no, we have to change all of that.
Oh, well.
So the detective character says that it's the evil company that's been... confirming that all of the werewolves are dead.
I mean,
the whole time.
Yes,
and they've been lying because
that's the big thing in the movie is that there was this purge. Yeah, this people gotta
let's go all the way back to the beginning now.
Yeah, basically humans committed monster genocide is what the opening of the movie says, right?
Yes,
and wiped. Supposedly, the story we're told, the narrative we've been given is that they wiped out the Lycans and have mostly wiped out the vampires.
Yes, I think that was.
Yeah,
what
it's
they're
like they
trying
got
to
we got all
establish at the very beginning.
we got all the werewolves and like 80% of the vampires.
There you go.
So if you're
They're doing
trying
pretty
to
good.
Yeah.
eliminate a subsection of the population that has monster virus in them.
Yeah.
Because again, as we've established in the deep lore of the Underworld franchise, that
dear.
at the beginning there was a single Corvinus who was an immortal.
Yeah.
His two sons both got bitten by a rabid bat and wolf, respectively.
One of my
I still can't even with that.
That's my favorite part of the whole thing, honestly.
And so,
holy shit.
those immortal rabies viruses became the lycanthropy and vampirism that we know today.
Oh, I love that as the mythos of this. I love that as the mythos of this. That's so funny. Yeah.
So
if
you're
weren't
trying
such
to
an
wipe out
extremely large man, I would walk up to Kevin Giro and I'd go, seriously?
Hey, what are you talking about, Brendan? It's with
airtight
mythology. It all works out if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, him saying my name would cause a seismic shift in the earth because of the
Brendan.
It's like, what if it had been a badger? Would there have been were-badgers? What are you getting?
Yeah,
so
some were-badgers.
Griveau is long out of this franchise at this point. He's no longer involved in this one because Gorgone, you'll be coming back for the new mythos he tries to build with I, Frankenstein.
Thank God that only lasts for one movie.
Yeah, but that's what Griveau was doing.
In his version, is it a guy got bitten by a bunch of corpse pieces and then was
no, he got bitten by a radioactive neck bolt. That's what.
No, I have fallen on these bolts. This is terrible.
I have reinvented the Frankenstein story. It is much cooler.
But yeah, so I mean, once again, so this movie went through just to give you a sense of what. So a guy named John Havlon wrote the first draft of this. Then they brought in Straczynski. Then Beckinsale brought in another writer before they then basically like forced at gunpoint, from the sound of it, Len Wiseman to come in, who was already making the Total Recall movie and was apparently in between takes on Total Recall writing new scenes for this movie as both that movie and this movie were shooting.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot going on there. And yeah, they were talking about apparently they were writing scenes at night for the next morning shoot. So
this baby has a lot of daddies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the directors are Mons Merlind and Bjorn Stein.
Sure. The famous.
In the end credits, they're just credited as Merlind and Stein.
Yeah. That's their directing.
Great.
Duo, but anyway,
hey,
I think this
you
is.
can get an ambersands and an end credit. I'm happy. That's all.
Yeah, is this their only? No, this isn't their only American movie, but they are primarily known as Swedish television producers.
Then what the fuck?
Sure, why not?
I don't see the A, B, and C of how they ended up doing it.
They did a movie before this called Six Souls that I very, very vaguely remember with Julianne Moore. That was sort of a supernatural thriller. I still don't fully know how. Yes, I agree with you. I don't fully know how they got to them. And they are pretty open about how much they hated making this.
Oh, okay.
Because every day they were being overruled by somebody, and that ultimately nobody was happy with the result of this movie.
Okay,
all right, guys.
good.
But their first directorial debut together
Yeah.
was a 2002 short film called Disco Kung Fu that I think deserves attention because a young man is bullied by the neighborhood gang in Sweden projects of Stockholm, but with the help of an alcoholic former martial arts champion, he learns the art of Disco Kung Fu to better his situation.
That actually does
How can that possibly be
That
bad?
sounds a lot better than this, actually.
Yeah.
They did the big thing they did was what was called over there was called Blotsväg, but was remade here as The Bridge. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know how these two ended up doing this, and like I said, yeah, all their comments are just like, yeah, it was chaos and nobody liked what we did. So, and I will say,
there's a long history of European directors like that get seen at a film festival somewhere by a producer, get brought to America hoping they can translate whatever that producer saw in them, and then them just getting steamrolled by the American film
I do
system,
love the
which is
idea.
so radically different.
Yeah, well, once again, because as we're recording this, Gorgone and I are in the middle of recording the IP Squad about the Alien franchise. We kind of just talked about that with Jean-Pierre Jeunet on Alien Resurrection as a guy who, But I always love where it's just like, hey, man, you've got this great artistic vision, and they probably saw that in these guys too. You want to do the fourth Underworld? Like, it's just like, clearly what you want to do.
They didn't bring anything to this. This
no, and I
gotta
say,
piece.
well, but it doesn't. That's the thing. Actually, I gotta say, watching this, and I'm not. This is still faint praise for the first two Underworld movies. I do miss Len Wiseman because I think one of the big things that's missing here is these action scenes are all a snooze. I don't think these are as well put together action sequences as the first two movies, which are really the only things I can heartily recommend about those first two movies. This movie, though, resorts.
I don't even remember. Well, maybe I from the first movie. To me, this all is chock-a-block standard. Even in the first couple movies, there's some cool little bits, but really, it's just like, okay,
but there's
bang.
There's inventiveness to the way people are killed. There's inventive. Here it is. This movie resorts to how much of the runtime of this movie is literally just Kate Beckinsale standing and shooting at some creature.
I do like the silver nitrate bits. Those were cool.
Yeah,
where there's like a cloud of silver nitrate and werewolves are just going up.
But it's just like, I mean, literally, she's not. There's a couple of wall runs, very Matrixy, but and they still got. This is still a $70 million movie,
and she does a flip over a gigantic werewolf.
But most of the time, she is
we'll
just
talk
like,
about Super Werewolf.
Yeah. But
well,
most
we
of the
should
time,
get going on the start at the very beginning of this. Let's move past the flashback.
So, well, we get a little piece of we establish that the world, they're hunting monsters. They come for Michael and Selene, though mainly Selene. Michael's over there somewhere.
He's at the boat.
Michael's in archive footage.
Yep.
Yeah, so we get
He's
her
waiting for in archive footage.
What I loved about the one shot we get of Michael through the tactical HUD is that there's just enough weird tactical lines on the HUD to obscure his face that it's not the same actor.
Yes, exactly. They used a combination of a couple of archive clips and a stand-in.
Yep.
And so you get her. They try to hit Selene with a flamethrower, and she does run away from fire coming out of a flamethrower up a wall. Kind of cool.
She runs over the fire.
Yeah, it's kind of.
She gets
cool.
to the boat, and they ambush her, and they both drop into the water. And
Michael
as they're trying to escape the Nazi missile, they freeze and then are woken up in the 70s by the Avengers.
This is here's the thing that got me. So they get into the water, and they throw this grenade in after them. Is the implication that this grenade has frozen them?
Yes.
That's pretty wild.
I guess, I don't know.
The way
they
it's
call
visually
it a silver nitrate grenade, though. They don't even call it a freeze grenade.
Because it goes in the water and then it explodes.
It looked like it was supposed to be like a UV grenade, but that would have, I don't know.
They're both underwater. This grenade drops between them. They're about to come together and embrace, and the shot it's a mildly cool shot. The explosion separates them, right?
Yes.
And then we just see ice forming on the screen. So that's why I couldn't figure out, are they telling me that the water they're in froze? Because that's weird. You also do hear very briefly somebody on the thing go, somebody get those bodies out of there.
I think the implication is that they drag them up out of the water and then stick them in the freezy pop.
It is confusing the way that it is visually presented on screen.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And again, Underworld movie explaining things?
Right.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just like I said, I was telling you guys, I don't know if I said this when we were recording, but yeah, I looked at the counter, 78 minutes by the time credits start on this thing. So and you can feel that. This movie is in such a hurry to be like, wait, no, people start scenes and go I'm sorry, we do not have time for this scene. We have got to go. This movie needs to end. To
the point where, so we'll cut to a lab where Selene is freed by some mysterious secondary figure that we'll learn eventually is her daughter. But this movie is in such a rush that her girdle and boots and leather accoutrement are all located next, like in a cabinet directly across from where she is
That
frozen.
was something
they were anticipating that she would escape at some point and would have to be closed.
That was apparently not the case originally in the script. Once again, I have trivia here. She was supposed to be in like a hospital gown until they got to the vampire hideout, where she would have been given a new outfit that would have been. But I like that they're just like. Doesn't matter.
But in this case,
just keep going. Get her.
By the way, she is subject 1, I believe. She is freed by subject 2.
Yes.
We'll find out that's her daughter.
We're meant to think it's Michael, though, right? They're trying to fool us.
Yes, we're meant to think it's Michael. But that means that Michael, who we find out later, like, she gets told he's dead at one point.
Yeah.
She's very sad. Charles Dance lets her know pretty brutal.
Sally.
Like, your lichen lover's long dead.
Oh, we'll talk about just how every scene is just Charles Dance being shitty in this movie.
But then later we'll find out that no, they do have Michael on ice. So is he subject 3?
Well, he was subject 2 until this girl was born, and then they moved him down to subject 3.
I'm just saying, Michael in the first movie is supposed to be. I know he's not supposed to be the central figure because Selene is. But he's the chosen one.
Yeah.
He's the first hybrid of the two, and immediately in the second movie, and now even worse, it's like, okay, Michael is just never going to happen. Okay, guys, he's just never going to happen.
Even though he is the coolest character to me in those first movies, because he's both a vampire and a werewolf.
Sure, but now we've got a daughter that does that, so moving on.
But it would just be like if you started one of the later Matrix movies, and they're like, Neo? Who? Meet Neo's daughter.
Exactly. That's exactly what this is.
This whole franchise has suffered pretty heavily from the first movie being like, we finally unified the bloodlines, to immediately in the second movie being like, well, okay, but no one's here for Scott Speedman. Everyone's here for Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
So we automatically have to reduce his importance.
I was there for Scott Speedman. I do like Scott Speedman. I think his career is doing just fine. He doesn't need this, but because he's been on Grey's Anatomy for 80 seasons now or whatever. But
so this movie like further reduces his importance by like, no, we can have natural born hybrids. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, that seems to be. Isn't that sort of what Ray is trying to do in this movie?
It's really unclear what he's trying to do.
I'm sorry. That's the best reaction to. What is he doing this movie? Well,
he's trying to super soldier the werewolves.
Yes, yeah.
But the whole thing is that they're using the daughter as the test subject for that. So there must be some kind of hybrid combination that makes the super soldier werewolves.
They're using her genetic material to improve lichenism. Just in general.
Okay, so they're
just also I think that's how they developed the immunity to silver.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's not the bulking up. I think it has to do with only the hybrids have that immunity to silver.
Right.
Well, and Selene has an immunity to daylight now because she drank Michael Corvinus or Alexander Corvinus's blood in the second movie.
Right.
Yeah.
She can walk around in the day. She's almost what you call a day walker.
No. Different franchise.
Oh.
Man, this franchise needs a blade. But so anyway, she is frozen for 2 seconds. I don't think I've ever seen they go, oh, she's been frozen. I think from the time she is frozen to the time she is unfrozen is 30 seconds of screen time.
Yep.
There is no time with like, oh no, Selene is frozen. Boom, she's out.
Yeah.
I think there's like a better movie could maybe have done that better, simply because like to her it is like less than a day has passed.
Yeah,
no, I mean that. Yeah, it's an interesting thing where you would think
she does have a bit of dialogue where she goes, literally, I was with your father yesterday. To me, that's what it feels like. And everything was happy, and now I've got a daughter.
But yes, a hand of some kind, they go, oh no, Subject 2 is out of containment. Oh no, Subject 2 is activating the freeze chamber. Oh no!
Yep.
It's just a guy on a microphone going, "Dear God." But
Well, okay, you want to know who that guy on that microphone is? That is desk guard number 1, played by Lee Majdoub, who you probably better recognize from the Sonic the Hedgehog movies as Robotnik's sidekick.
Yes, good actor.
I don't.
That's right. You've never seen this. The Sonic movies are totally fun.
I hear they're totally fine, but I never played the game and have no interest.
He also played the new protagonist in the Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was also not bad.
He does a lot of video game stuff because he also was just in the Star Wars Outlaws game too.
Wow, who was he in that? Because that I've played.
He was extra voices.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Oh man, he's real good. Yeah.
I loved all those extra voices in there. Anyway, another good actor who does nothing in this movie, though, is what we're saying.
Correct, yes.
But, and so she breaks out and just starts killing. Here's a note from the trivia. This is the highest body count for Selene in any of the Underworld movies. They put her at 70 kills, according to IMDb.
Wow.
What's your favorite Selene kill in this movie? Because I definitely have one.
Oh, God, I don't know if any of them stand out to me. That's the thing
the one that stood out to me happened in the first 5 minutes. So after that, it begins to get tiresome. But in the first 5 minutes, when she's being chased by the human military guys, she does impale a man on a rifle and then fire said rifle through his spine.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Oh, right. Yeah. I remember that happening.
Yeah. But there's not anything as cool as like tearing the jaw off a werewolf or when she sliced Bill Nighy's head in half in the first one. That's what I'm talking about. It just feels like everything's a little lazier. This isn't actually a lower budget movie, but it feels lower. It feels lazier. It's weird.
I can tell you what it is. It is the over-reliance on CG. If there's one thing that can be said about the earlier Underworld movies is there is an astonishing amount of practical creature effects in the first couple of Underworld movies.
Because we still weren't at a place yet where that was the cheaper option, right?
So
I think when they made those first ones,
we are just plagued with CG lichens.
The creature design
every single scene.
The creature design is considerably worse, I feel like.
Yeah.
And some of that may be because they were writing it ongoing, so they couldn't. I mean, that's my guess. Some of it too, right? Is that they probably were ever changing the script, so they couldn't really nail down finalized designs on stuff, which probably didn't help.
I also think, and this is for me, and you, John, clearly because of the action shelf, you have sort of like a limitless appetite for action films, and I like action films, but there has to be story or character or something to
put them in the vein
for me to like them.
No, I agree too.
So for me, this stuff, when I say it's of a piece, nothing can really stand out because it feels like all the rest of them. It's like, there might be a cool visual type. Like, in other words, yes, using the gun through the guy, that's pretty intense. But I'd forgotten about it till Gorgone.
Well, I think also, unfortunately,
I watched this last night.
On your same point, I think also I'm like, well, that's not the first time I've seen a gun impaled through a guy and then shot. So I think maybe that was also
exactly.
I'm pretty sure John Wick might have done that too.
I think even though there's only been 4 of these, and one of them is a medieval, like period.
Which, actually, I still stand by as the most fun of the whole bunch.
Yeah, I think I'm just bored with the Underworld aesthetic, and even they would have to do something amazingly fresh for me to go.
I don't know, Brandon. Would that be something like having a blood war, maybe?
Not from what I understand from the
Brendan. Perhaps a blood war would do it for you.
Yeah. How about a nice blood war?
Interest you in a blood war? Yeah. Well, again, it would have
a tip of the blood war to you, sir.
No,
I think this is a franchise that for me began and ended with the first movie. Because I just don't need any more.
I think to your point also about the over-reliance on CG, and something I was like, I kind of remembered being the case, but I had to, after watching about 10, 15 minutes of the movie, I had to check to make sure this was the case. This was definitely in the height of 3D as well, and this was very much advertised as a real 3D movie.
Did Theo James's CG whip give that away?
Yeah, which I gotta say is a cool idea, but looks like shit. The way
it looks like shit and doesn't do anything
because they keep having
one, and then turns and tosses a thing with his other arm. I remember that. I was like, oh,
there
that's
is
cool.
so much throwing stuff down the lens in this movie. So many, because she always had the throwing discs, but here we're going right into the camera with those things.
Yeah.
And you can just feel, I don't want that. I hate that feeling, especially now that 3D has kind of died out. It really feels like
whatever, old man. You
John,
just can't
before
deal
you
with
said
the
that
advance of technology.
You'd said before that the poster was just Kate Beckinsale, but there is a firm amount of footage on that poster given to the fact that it's in 3D.
Yeah, no, it's the title, and then it's in 3D, Real D 3D, and IMAX 3D. And they made a big. This was the first movie to use some kind of new 3D camera. The Red Epic was one of the first ones we shot on Red Epic digital camera, native 3D. So, I mean, they did shoot it in proper native 3D, but I don't care. Like, that was always the thing where it's like, oh, no, but if the movie's shot in 3D, that's better than if it's post-converting. You're like, maybe, but it all looked like shit to me.
Actually, now that you say that, that might be one of the reasons why the CG like pops so hard and looks so bad, is because it's meant to literally pop out of the screen.
That
and
could
so on
be
a
too.
normal 2D, like I'm just watching it on the Blu-ray that I have. Why do I own a Blu-ray of this? But
Oh, I got you beat. I got the 4K.
yeah, fair enough. But like in that presentation, when you have your CG lichen leaping from car to car in the car chase that is about to happen chronologically as we're talking about it.
Well, and here's the thing about it, Brendan, is I'm not completely obviously removed from like the action stuff. I think I need less story than you, but this movie has no story, so I don't care about the action. Like the action in this is so boring to me.
It takes, any the things that I thought that the directors did well, a couple places, even though I was mocking the people jumping into frame thing, mostly Selene, there were a couple of very coolly shot practical examples of fast vampire, which I thought were well done. And one of them was in that parking structure where the police detective's walking, and you see in the far distance Selene drops into frame, the camera turns.
Wait, did you say Selene drops into frame? That's a crazy idea for a shot in this.
I know, but then she's right in front of him and pulling her gun on him in like 2 seconds, which is obviously the easiest thing. You have a double that does the drop, and she's already there. But it did effectively convey. It was like, ooh, fast vampire.
Or
I was like, oh, that was pretty good.
There's the bit where she's breaking out of the evil lab, where she like slits like 7 throats with the knife.
That's right. I remember that bit. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's all. It's all fine, but it's this one in particular really felt like it was even darker. Like it went to they picked an even darker blue filter for this thing.
Yeah, there is some. It is murky.
Like it's that kind of thing where I'm like, all right, the first one had a stylistic choice, and you can argue with whether it was too blue, but there were parts of this movie that I did actually have trouble seeing what was happening, which was not the case.
I just thought it was so hilarious that scene where the cop is shown looking stuff up on the computer, and it looks like a library, but I suppose it's supposed to be a police.
Well, Brendan, I don't think you realized this actually takes place in the same city as David Fincher's Seven. Weirdly, it's the same. It's that
where
same.
No one has paid their lighting bill.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing.
Anyway, so where are we in the story?
Sorry, yeah. So we talked about
very complicated.
We talked about her killing the hallway of soldiers. I thought I was like, holy shit! I didn't remember Wes Bentley was in this movie. And no, he's not. And actually, I do see he's uncredited, so 100% a favor for somebody.
Oh well, whatever service I rented it from, which is probably Amazon,
put him on there.
When I paused it on the scene, it did credit him.
Oh, it says but he's not. Yeah,
it's
he's
like lab.
It's one of those things where antigen scientist is what it says.
Sure.
Well, because he's on the IMDb, but it's Wes Bentley uncredited, but no one's uncredited on IMDb, but he's uncredited in the movie. So he's definitely doing someone a favor, which makes me feel better than that he would have needed to take this.
Sure.
But another mildly cool image is her questioning Wes Bentley and holding him against the glass as it's splintering. That's like, that's kind of cool. And then when she dropped him out the window, I was like, oh, great. No more Wes Bentley.
Yeah, yeah, he goes down. He goes down hard.
Still wish he had played Batman. That's my other note on this, but that's neither here nor there. He would've been killer Batman.
He would have had to work on his voice, but
Okay.
yeah, visually that guy is
Because when Aronofsky was going to do Year One, Wes Bentley was the pick.
That
he
is
would've
a
crushed.
Bruce Wayne face for days.
Absolutely. All right. So so he lands on truck. This is a company, right, where they're dealing in monsters and such like that. So this driver of a truck that works for them because he's in one of their uniforms, when Selene lands on his truck and he shoots her in the head, you would think he would be aware that she's not dead when he goes up to her.
Well, here's the thing. Selene, I don't think the Antigen people realize that Selene is like a super vampire at this point, because in Underworld Evolution, when she drinks the Corvinus blood, that gives her like the extended healing factor
I
and
guess maybe
like
that's
immunity
true.
to sunlight.
Maybe
and
that's
stuff.
true. Yeah. Because once again, there's some cool images. They're mostly here at the beginning. This guy shoots her in the head, and then she grabs him, and when she bites his neck, the bullet comes out of her head. That's kind of cool.
Pops that bullet right
That's
out.
I mean, it's just 100% stolen from X2 with Wolverine, but it was better there. But so anyway, she's now loose, and they get this moment where she goes into an army surplus store to get gear. And she sees that they're on the table. They're selling lichen and vampire teeth, which is just our one. That's her being like, "Oh, Holocaust committed against my people." All right.
This movie is trying, and I guess the whole series, the series never really has a political point other than these two species are fighting and the rest of the world is unaware. That's kind of the whole point. But this one is definitely trying to make you sympathetic, because they're being wiped out, and you're like going, they are monsters.
I thought
some of them are nice where they won't drink your blood.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Look, I was like, I don't want to side with the genocide, obviously. But they are supernatural creatures out to kill people. I'm just saying it's, and the thing I didn't like about this one was it firmly makes vampires good, lichens bad. Definitively. Whereas which kind of undoes the point of the prequel movie, which is about how
literal point of the third one is that the vampires kind of suck.
Yeah, now it's the other. I was like, oh, by the end of this, we're supposed to be 100% on board the vampire, and I'm like you said, Brad. I'm like, well, Selene's nice, but Charles Dance seems like a huge prick. I don't know. Like
they very clearly code who we are supposed to like, because Charles Dance's son, who's our friend
Theo James
from White Lotus,
who's a wonderful actor. Also, if people haven't watched,
he's clearly a noble vampire. He doesn't say one way or the other whether he gives a shit about humanity, but he is like clearly a freedom fighter. And man, the Death Dealers, you guys were legends. I grew up hearing about you. Could you teach us how to fight? And I'm sitting there going like, you mean walk through rooms with just guns and going bang, bang, bang? I don't see what's so special other than the fact that she can walk out.
I think we talked about this before on the previous movies about I don't fully know what Death Dealers are about.
And why they're any more special. They just seem to be...
In the first movie, we established that Death Dealers are like this elite cadre that are specifically trained to go out into the world and deal with lichens.
Yeah,
right?
that's
their whole point.
They're vampire spec ops, right? Like they're
right.
But
there's nothing I see her doing that it seems that other supernaturally powerful vampires could not do themselves.
She does kind of always just read, except for this movie where they make, because she's got the Corvinus blood. But before that, it did seem like the Death Dealers were just vampires who had guns.
Correct. Yes.
And throwing, spinning shuriken things. By the way, if you haven't watched The Gentleman on Netflix, Theo James is the star of that show, and I highly, highly recommend it.
I have not watched it. Maybe I will.
It's excellent. He also did the voice of Bastion on X-Men 97.
Okay.
Yeah. Talk about a guy who does have a Batman voice, by the way, Theo James.
Yeah, he could do it.
He'd
have to get rid of the British.
One of the larger bad guys, Hector in the Castlevania animated series.
He has a great voice. He has a great, he's actually a guy I think that maybe DC could look at to be
Maybe they
Bruce
should
Wayne.
look at him.
Yeah, I think he's very good. Anyway, not in this though. He's neither good nor bad in this. They asked nothing of him in this. So anyway, so the whole time she's escaping, she's also having first person somebody else's vision. I'm seeing through somebody's eyes, and she's like, "It must be Michael."
Yeah. Well, hadn't they established that she could do that in the other movies? Yeah, they did. They did.
I'm sure
They
did.
had like some kind of blood connection because
later
she was the one who turned him into the hybrid, right?
Yeah, so they didn't introduce that in this, but they're leaning on it.
Well, yes, but the thing is that they're using that to what I'll get to it when we get to it. They have a term for it that I thought was very stupid.
Blood visions.
Yeah, so anyway, meanwhile, cut to, we might as well call him Detective Exposition, Michael Ealy, who is just here to give facts, and they roll up on this shredded body, and they're like, looks like a lichen did this. He's like, well, you know that's crazy. There haven't been lichens in years, although, once again, it's only been 12 years, so that feels like that's a little short of a time to be like, I'm certain they're gone.
I think the only reason they're doing 12 years is to try to, it's for the lifespan of our new character,
right,
the young lady.
Who, as Gorgone pointed out, is actually 19.
Who's actually 19.
Yeah.
And they could have made it any other time, they could have, because again, we're talking about frozen people. Maybe the pregnancy was brought to term years after she was in the ice, until they could figure out how to do it. You could have made this 35 years in the future or something, and just to make it much more alien. 12 years when she's like going, I don't even recognize this. I'm just like, no.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure that restaurants you used to go to are still open. I'm not, shut up.
That's crazy. But then also I said, like, this scene where they're just like, are you insane? A lichen? We eradicated it. Nobody's, it's like, well, it's been 12 years. Like I said, that's a little quick to be that confident.
Also, the eradication of a subspecies, if you will, of humanity.
Don't say its name, Gorgone.
Sorry.
You take the name out of your mouth.
But again, never establishing where this location is, or how big of a radius, or how, like, what are the global consequences
it's the city,
of this?
man.
And like,
it's the city.
It's the city, but like, do other countries have different reactions to learning about the
I mean,
vampire?
the way
let's not worry about that.
The way she does the exposition, it feels like it's a worldwide thing, right? I mean, it has to be.
It doesn't.
Well, I mean, the way she's speaking about it gives it the feeling that it's a global initiative.
Sure.
But yes,
yeah,
by the way, I'm sure you guys are not shocked to learn, of course, the city is Vancouver.
Of course, yeah.
Oh.
No, there is a reason that Chris Holden Reed is in this movie, and that's because this movie was shot in Canada.
Well, yeah, you start going down the list. By the way, he was Bobo Eben Moss Bacharach to me.
Yep, he absolutely is.
Right.
The only reason I recognize him,
he's actually I'd say the sexier version. So he's like the younger brother
but he's also
Eben's a big doofy looking guy.
Yeah, but a better actor. That's the thing, unfortunately.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Did either
more
of you
interesting.
watch Lost Girl?
A little bit.
I watched a couple episodes of Lost Girl.
I think we.
Yeah, that was like the B- Buffy knockoff from
but it lasted a long time. Wasn't that a sci-fi one?
Yeah,
sci-fi original series.
Yeah.
But he was like the hunky love interest in that.
I mean,
all right.
If you look at this guy's career, he has been on every show shot in Canada. He is one of those. He is a local, and I mean, and good for him. And once again, he's fine. They're all fine. Everyone. This movie is not falling apart because of the acting by any stretch.
No, actually, I'll give you that. Again, like I was saying at the top, these are all solid people saying nonsense and
doing it as earnestly as they can.
As they can, they are earning their paychecks.
Yeah, nobody's phoning it. Nobody seems embarrassed to be here, even if some of these people should be embarrassed to be here.
Even if they just were hiding it, and they would go to their trailers and go, "Jesus God."
Stephen Ray
How many days do you think Stephen Ray actually worked on this film?
That's a good question. I mean,
no, I think it's a big enough part. He was probably there a week.
But all
like,
of it.
Most of his scenes are all in that one lab location.
Yeah, very true.
But it's a lot of scenes, and
and at the end, he has to be a corpse.
Yeah, I did. That was actually when I felt really bad for him, was when he had all the goopy gore makeup on.
Yeah,
I was going,
he has to have like a shredded shirt and lay across a thing.
He is a way better.
I think that was a mannequin.
Yeah, you're actually.
Well, no, there's a little bit where he is still doing like a "I'm dying" line.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
he
did still do one of those. He has a way cooler death in a much better vampire movie called Interview with the Vampire, of course.
Yes,
when he gets cleaved in half by a scythe, that fucking rules.
That was actually what's the word? A part.
Yeah,
he actually had
in a movie that was I'm struggling for this. Good. That's it. That's
the
it.
word.
That's it.
Yeah,
now, do you think he was in between takes on this on his trailer, going, "Hello, Neil Jordan, got anything?" What are you working on, Neil?
It's always good to have a friend who's like an actual filmmaker, and does interesting things.
Yeah, right. And I think that
I was just about to call you, Steve.
Well, and
I've got a new thing.
As much shit as we're giving him, he is also one of those guys, as we talk about, who's Teflon. This didn't hurt his career in the league. Everybody
has done a lot of cheesy shit. In his career.
But I will say, once again, if you want to see him in a better genre movie and a better use of him, V for Vendetta, I think he's fucking great.
Yeah,
he's so good.
Well, again, fucking great, and that gentleman kind of go together.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Yeah, because like I said, there's even moments in this where he for like a half a second, I believe the nonsense he's spouting. Where I'm like, this is kind. I'm like, no, wait, this movie's stupid. You're just a good actor, Stephen Ray.
Stop trying to fool me.
So anyway, we also see at this crime scene, they just cut to Theo James is just there, and he looks over and sees Selene, surprisingly, drop down from a building. But we don't know who he is, and I was just like, oh, who? Never mind, we'll get to him later.
Yep.
I mean, we really just have this extended sequence where the two of them are circling each other until finally he approaches her and goes like, hey, I know you're a vampire. I'm a vampire too. We both have the same contact lenses.
Yes,
that really made me laugh.
I'm one of you.
That really made me. She was gonna. He goes, "Don't shoot me," and then his eyes turn blue, and she's like, "Oh,
yeah,
a cousin, a sexy cousin."
Yeah, perhaps if my husband, lover, never comes back.
Yeah, you're on deck, Theo James.
Give me your deets.
What are you?
I know you're not in the next movie, but your dad is.
Yeah. Wait, is he not in the next one?
Oh wait, no, he is.
I thought he came back.
He will be part of
the
Blood Wars.
Theo James, do you have a date to the Blood Wars? The weird thing about the next one actually is that the daughter's not in it.
What?
Know.
Yeah,
even as they didn't just swap out the actress or something.
I have seen Blood Wars strap in for some like hand wavy bullshit.
Here's the thing. I think I saw Blood Wars. I don't remember anything of that. Actually, I felt that about this one. I know I've seen this one, and I was watching, going, I don't remember any of this.
If you
that's what I'm
thought
saying.
this movie was too dark blue, wait for the next movie to be too light blue. That's all.
I know.
Possibly.
I know that's where she gets the white costume, right? I mean, I know that there's like Arctic stuff in the next one. But
by the end of this podcast, this film will have left my.
I mean, it's certainly left my head. Yeah, I mean, I said because the first two I know decently, but anyway. So I love when Michael Ealy and the cops roll up to clearly a scene of a massacre at the lab, and Stephen Ray's like, nope, nothing to see here. Everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we heard that something escaped. Nope, nothing escaped. It's all fine. Just all right.
What about this photo of this woman leaping from a window?
Don't know what that is. Never seen it. No. Nope, nothing.
They clearly have sway.
Yeah, but he's also really bad at running a conspiracy too.
Yeah,
he is a lichen.
Oh, did you love? Did you love?
That's the most racist thing you've ever said.
We're gonna lose that.
He is a lichen.
We're gonna lose that lichen listenership. No. Do you love that? It's the future. We have crazy technology, like a printer in my car.
Do we have crazy technology? Again, it's not that far in the future.
No, it's not. But I love that they present the idea of him being able to print out a photo in his car as like, whoa. Yeah. And I'm going like, that's actually really backwards technology for this.
That's something that you could have had in Get Smart.
100%, yeah. What'd you
my
believe?
original
I
Game Boy
printed this
could
in
have
my
a printer,
car.
I can get one in my car.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So now she's teamed up with Theo James, and also Lycans chase them down the street. So that means, whoa! I thought they were all gone. Nope.
No.
Well, because they also find that Underground being chased by Lycans is this little girl who is subject one.
They're not actually chasing. She's subject. No, wait. Is she subject one?
She's subject
two. Let's get our subjects right.
I'm sorry. It's confusing because in the credits she's listed as Eve, but is never referred as that in the movie.
Okay, I'm glad. Thank you for saying that.
Do they ever call her by a name in this, by the way?
Thank you for saying that, because I thought the same thing. I was like, I don't remember her having a name. I don't remember them ever saying her name, but then I also saw it was Eve on IMDb.
That's not good filmmaking.
That might be like a cut scene or like a script revision that got dropped at some point.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Like I said, I mean, they were constantly rewriting, I'm sure. And
I bet there was mother-daughter stuff that
I bet they
didn't make it to the screen.
I don't think they set out to make a movie that runs 78 minutes. You know, I mean, I think this thing got hacked to ribbons. It still did really well, though. Which makes me sad. Yeah,
this late in the day.
Well, because it's a $70 million budget. It made 160.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know if that's really well.
That's more than double, and double is but it did.
It was
decently.
successful.
Yeah,
it
did decently. I think the next one is where we're gonna get into trouble, and that might be why there isn't a sixth one.
I'm telling you, the Blood Wars took a lot out of people.
Well, I'll just tell you this.
No one was the same.
The budget gets sliced in half next time.
Man, that's not good.
They take it from 70 to so obviously they did see that there were diminishing returns, because they are like, there's still an audience, but let's not spend that much. So those are going to be some small scale Blood Wars. But
Kate Beckinsale and
Theo. They're like, wait a minute, I'm not seeing through Michael. I'm seeing through this girl who I have no attachment to. I don't know her at all.
Why is it even a surprise to her? If you're seeing through the eyes of anybody that you haven't bitten or drained, then it means you're related. Come on.
No, they tease out this thing about her being the daughter.
Yeah, and there's no reason for that. We all know.
Yeah. Also, did you like when Selene just started a car with a knife? That really got me.
That was her car knife.
She just jams a knife into the ignition of a car and turns. I'm going like, that's not a vampire pot. Yeah, she brought a car knife.
No, that's how knives work.
Yeah,
I've seen enough Fast and Furious movies.
I was probably looking away because that's news to me. I did not know that happened in the movie.
Oh no, it happens. It's a quick cut because I don't think they want to linger. It's just like, we need to get out of here. She's like, I can handle that.
Oh wow!
I was just
it's another power. She has another power.
So anyway, that's where the Lycans attack them. There's a car chase. A Lycan gets into the back of the van where the daughter is, and she's like, "Oh no, they're getting to." Yeah, I guess her name is Eve. And then Eve tears a Lycan in half with her bare hands. Once again, mildly
turns
cool.
into the girl from The Grudge.
Yeah, because she has a variation of Michael's hybrid makeup where she's kind of blue, but it's like. Yeah, she's got like that sort of like elongated mouth and black eyes that you're talking about. The Grudge.
Yeah, Michael goes full Blue Man Group, and I feel like Eve only goes to like James Cameron's Avatar level.
It's true.
Yeah, it's a grayer blue. It's a grayer blue.
I will say, and this isn't me being creepy, but the clothes ripping thing is not present here either.
She doesn't
because Michael would, because they wanted to give him the full torso where you had sort of the veins.
She never really grows in size. It just kind of affects her face.
Yeah, really,
and
hands kind of, and she's doing all the like appropriately
which
scary faces
always.
But I'm like going, it's been watered down a little. I guess.
Well, I get
because she's not full hybrid.
She's not. She's half hybrid, half vampire.
Hybrid, half vampire.
But half super vampire because of the Corvinus blood. Which, by the way, I think we've set a record now for the podcast that says Corvinus blood the most. You're talking about the Corvinus blood.
Well, John, unless you want to go into my other podcast, Corvinus Cast.
You know what? If you were hosting that, I wouldn't be shocked. Anyway, India Isley's doing the best she can with a very stupid role in a stupid movie, like everybody. Yeah. But when she says, "I'm your daughter," by the way, Hart, she's like, "I'm your daughter," and Celine's just like, "Where's Michael? I don't. You're my daughter." Still want to get back to where's Michael?
I really want to get back to your
she's
dad.
just because she is just like, "I'm your daughter." She's like, "That's great. Do you know where your dad is?" By any chance?
And again, they're trying to establish this like emotional rapport of just like Selene has been ripped away from this relationship that's been built up over 2 movies, and suddenly we're supposed to insert this daughter into the equation that she's trying to like in her cold way reconcile the fact that she has a larger family now, but the movie doesn't do a good job of really like having her reckon with those emotions.
No, because
that's
for
one scene that we have in a minute where she goes into a hallway and cries for a minute.
The movie feels very proud that it did that. They're like, "See, we've got emotions in this movie. Look at that scene where she cries."
Yeah.
She does bite. Because once again, whenever they added that, I don't know who added that to the first movie, but what a gift to this franchise that she's able to bite the daughter and see the memories. Is like, great, now I'm caught up on your life.
Pretty much,
because that's an Underworld thing,
and that is, wouldn't that be the best sort of device for
empathy or
bringing
whatever?
along exposition?
Yeah,
I just gotta bite you.
Now I know everything. And of course, what does she know? Nothing she wouldn't have known anyway. She just sees her like being experimented on in the lab. It's like we could have assumed that.
Yeah. We flash back to the first part of the movie where they break down.
Oh, this movie constantly recaps things that happened like a half hour ago. The amount of flashbacks to earlier in a 78-minute movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're just like, remember? Remember?
They keep driving and they go see Charles dance.
They go to Theo James takes them because I don't know anyone's character. David, is that his name?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah, he takes them to.
We also have some brief cuts during this sequence where Chris Holden Reed is like following them creepily.
Oh yeah. We don't know his full deal yet, but he's there to be creepy. And I guess his name is Quint.
Sure, why not?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
There should be, you should not be able to use that name.
Cinema had its best Quint. All right, we peaked with Quints. But
Quentin? Sure, go with Quentin.
Yeah.
That'd be better.
But once again, I don't remember them saying his name anywhere, so even if his name was Quint. He brings them to the vampire hideout. This is the refuge of the vampire. They're not really a resistance. They're more because that's the whole thing that they're going to argue.
They're a coven that apparently are just living and hiding.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
And immediately get ready for Charles Dance to be pissed for the rest of the movie because he's just like, "How the fuck could you bring her here? Are you out of your mind?" And not only that he brought somebody there, but specifically Charles Dance puts all the blame for everything that's happened on Selene, right? Because you fucked a werewolf.
Yeah, your Lycan lover who is long dead.
Oh, whoever that was a real gift to Charles Dance is the term Lycan lover. Your Lycan lover. Yeah. And once again, the guy's never turned in a bad performance.
Yeah. It's wild that Charles Dance is in this movie though, because like this is season 2 of Game of Thrones era.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing pretty good right now.
Here's the thing though, and the thing about Charles Dance and about all these guys that I kind of respect, the British. Like, we talk about this a lot. Like, how could
they take the job?
Well, because I think, and I've heard British people talk about this, as much as it's respected as a craft, it is also really seen as a business. All those guys are like, yes, that is my job. I will take the money to do the stuff. Weirdly, as much as they have the history and the like, the study of it, they seem to be less precious about it in general. Of course, there are different examples, but you look at guys like Michael Caine or Malcolm McDowell or Charles Dance or Gary Oldman. They're all in junk.
They all also understand that there's no guarantee that they get another job.
Yeah.
So it is that thing of like, doesn't matter what heights they've reached. And yeah, he's in the second season of a very successful television program, but he doesn't know it's coming back for another season. There's no guarantee. So yeah, he'll I'll do the job. Give me a dumb movie to be in.
Yeah, I mean, the guy just works. I mean, look at this, how many he's got. 162 credits on his IMDb. I mean, the dude just works. And oh right, yeah, he was Roderick Burgess on Sandman, and he ruled. Because he's just the best. Yeah, and he's doing what he can here. But yeah, he's just like, because I do like where it's just like, well, I'm saying he's like, oh, I know who you are. Believe me.
Apparently, he was the narrator on a docu-series about the rise of the Ottoman Empire. I want to watch this.
Oh well, this guy should be narrating.
The most Gorgone thing that has been said on this podcast.
Gorgone, this is a series called Rise of Empires. I'm surprised you haven't watched every season of it.
Well,
Gorgone, I just we'll check in. Did you ever watch that Vlad versus Mehmet on series on Netflix about Vlad the Impaler versus Mehmet?
I think that's what this is.
No,
I mean, this maybe touches on
this.
That
the first
Ottoman Empire famously invaded Wallachia during this time, but
yes. But there's an entire series that's just that. It's a docudrama, and I quite enjoyed it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Is that not what this is?
Wouldn't enjoy it.
Are you sure that's not what this is?
Literally,
part of that story is here, John, but it's not the same thing that
you're telling me Netflix made 2 different documentaries about the same stretch of history?
I'm saying that Netflix bought
they buy them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just think because this is also a docudrama, so interesting.
Rise of Empires. You're absolutely right. It was part of the Rise of the Empire series.
Okay, wait a minute.
A sub-series called Rise of Empires, Mehmet versus Vlad. That is what I'm talking about. You're absolutely right, and I did enjoy it.
I didn't watch either. I didn't watch either one. That's not really my bag. But that you history nerds.
It's not my bag, baby.
No, I watched the.
See, that's my really good impression
not my
of
bag.
Michael Myers. As,
wait, that was. That was very.
I'm really tired.
It was very Walken-y though. That's not my bag, baby.
No, I was doing.
Actually, you know what? I'm talk about a guy who will also take junk. I'm surprised Walken hasn't found his way into one of these things.
John, we have to hurry through this movie.
No,
we only have Gorgone for another half hour.
So anyway, luckily there's only 10 minutes left in the movie. It feels like. Anyway,
fighting, so vampires, werewolves.
They take a look at the daughter's eyes and they're like, "Well, look at her eyes. She's a hybrid."
Plus they're like, she's not healing from that thing that she got. So they do a blood test and they're like, "When was the last time you fed?" And here's the thing about Subject 2. She clearly had been out of the ice for a bit because she freed her mom and so forth. But she looks at them and goes, "Fed? Like she's never eaten? I'm sorry. How long have you been thawed out?" And you...
Again, she's been in this lab the whole time, so who knows how they've been sustaining her. We don't know.
Sure. But she's unaware of what the hell that means. So they're like, "Give her some blood."
Give her some blood.
Now she's healing.
So she's just like, okay, well, as soon as she's better, we'll leave. But Theo James disagrees with Daddy and says, but no, we need her. We got to fight. Because basically the argument between Theo James and Charles Dance is Charles Dance just wants to hide, and Theo James is like, we've got to fight. That's the thing. We can't just stay
and we need her to instruct us in how to fight back. Even though we are supernaturally powerful beings, she has to show us how to pull the trigger on guns.
We're very confused
about
back
look like for vampires.
In this case, it looks like a bunch of Lycans break in, and the vampires run for some sort of weapons, and then they get basically eviscerated very
Charles
quickly.
Dance is kind of an asshole in this movie, but 2 + 2 = 4. The Lycans do attack immediately upon Selene arriving.
They do.
I can't blame him too much when he's like, she brought them here. And once again, his son's argument is just like, no, this was always going to happen. Anyway, we have all those guns, don't we? And so they all start grabbing guns, and then
very ineffectual. They do get massacred.
A lot of my notes, except for Theo James takes out a couple with his CGI whip.
Yep. Silver whip, I assume.
Which always has to, every time he swings it, the whip has to go across the camera, of course.
Of course, because it's coming right at you.
Oh!
I paid for 3D. I'm getting it.
Yeah, I'm getting it, man. I think our friend is back as he Kate Beckinsale.
I don't think
3D.
he's such a 3D guy. It's like,
I don't know.
this series has no boobies.
Yeah.
And in fact, the only nude scene in this is Kate Beckinsale covered by CG ice fog.
This franchise and its implied nudity, it loves implied nudity.
Oh, yeah. The best thing to do is imply.
Yeah. No,
I mean, look, there's no cliff sex in this one, so I'm going to give it a pass.
Nothing.
No cliff sex.
Nothing.
Man,
that is the height of the franchise. That cliff sex scene is one of the best things I've ever seen in a movie. Well, that's the thing, actually, that I really like we talked about. I really enjoyed that third one, and that took it to such ridiculous, over-the-top heights. The fact that this one takes it back down to being so serious and gritty again is kind of a bummer, because the third one is so goofy in the most fun pop sort of way.
I agree.
I will say, when like Mighty Joe Young Lycan shows up in this vampire werewolf battle,
Super
that
werewolf.
did give me a little bit of hope. It's like, oh, so we're just going to go full like werewolf kaiju. Okay.
They don't deliver.
Mighty Joe Young. I was thinking of Rampage, because Rampage, the video game, is the first time they really had giant werewolves in anything.
That's true.
So I expected a big Godzilla knockoff to show up and fight.
No, we can't get to that until Dwayne Johnson can fight him.
I've never seen that film.
It's pretty fun.
It's okay.
It's pretty fun.
Okay.
I mean, it's Rampage.
Yeah, it's a Rampage movie. I don't know what to expect out of it.
It's Rampage.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. We'll talk about that.
But yeah,
IP
so
Squad's
like
video games.
the werewolves and the vampires are fighting, but then like all the vampires get like massacred basically.
Except for our name actors.
Well, sure, yeah.
Everyone other than Charles Dance and Theo James basically get wiped out here.
The people who have speaking roles and are earning a living wage are getting killed. John.
Yeah.
Doesn't Theo James die in this battle? But then she brings
only
him back
for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
another power?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
It's I would say, very religiously important power.
When
she can bring the undead back to undead.
This is new. Is this a Corvinus power? Is that the idea? Because they're getting a lot of mileage out of like, she couldn't do that. They can always just go, Corvinus power.
They have to stand there hearing Charles Dance and talk about the sacrifice of the son and like he wanted to fight and you should respect that and And it's like, but it doesn't matter anyway. Shoves her hand into his body then massages his heart back to
crazy. Okay, that is the craziest thing in this movie. Yep. I'll give them that. I want more of that kind of insanity.
She can apparently raise
like,
a freshly killed
vampire. She is Vampire Messiah at this point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she does make a point of like cutting open her hand before she turns him into a sock puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, how you doing? It's me, your boy.
Theo James in the
that's disrespectful.
Theo James in the behind the scenes interview was going, I got a little worried when the script said she turns him into a sock puppet, but the way it was executed was actually quite
very, very artful. Yes.
No, I'm sure he's like, was I in Underworld movies?
I hope he's put it past him.
I don't remember that.
Unless he was dating her off camera.
No,
because didn't she end up dating a lot of the people?
Well, I think she's still married to franchise creator Len Wiseman at this point.
Doesn't matter because they're famous for their sex parties. According
to what Paul F. Tompkins' impression of Len Wiseman.
You should come around because I'm always having these sex parties.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And actually, that just he is directing that Total Recall remake, which is horrible at this time. So
don't even know or care.
Yeah, it's really bad. Anyway, yeah. So you would think that would get her some kind of trust from Charles Dance. Nope, Charles Dance just hands the daughter over to the Lycans.
Yep.
And has to tell her that.
We talked about it a little bit, but yes, in the battle, she has to go up against the biggest werewolf you've ever seen.
I mean,
and it's very CG and not so good.
No, and I mean, not only is it CG, which is bad, but I didn't think the design was as good as other werewolves we've seen in this franchise.
Well, there's
One thing that
Underworld Evolution ends with the whole fight against like the first werewolf, who's this huge,
Yeah.
like imposing, pure white, like with the huge wolf snout.
I mean, I will
and it
say
was, like,
that
mostly practical. It looked great.
we talked about that. Same thing with the bat creature of the original vampire. These were cool designs.
for some reason when they're doing CG werewolves, not just this series, but a lot of them, where they're like, great, since it's CG, we can have snouted, dog-headed. But what happens is, like this one, it's a bad design because they did not sculpt that head graphically to look wolf-like. It looks like a very big dog head, and I'm like, wolves have this sort of angular look, and that's me getting real nitpicky. But every time that thing would like shut into 3D, shove its head at the camera, and I go, "Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?"
Yeah. Takes us back to the days, in the early days of this podcast, when they were literally just using people's dogs in these movies. There was a time it was just clearly, so that was a PA's dog? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I do like where they're just like, wait, how did the Lycans get the daughter? And Charles Dance's like, I gave her to them.
Yeah, it's like, that is what they wanted. I sent them away.
Because his thing is, I protected my people, right? Although they've already slaughtered most of the people, so weird move, Charles Dance. Like, pretty much everyone...
I'm protecting my coven of 4.
I'm protecting my son who died, and you brought him back to life, but fuck you also. They've got your daughter now. Although, to be fair, Selene, I'm a little unclear about how you feel about your daughter, so why are you so upset?
Yeah.
Look, the whole movie is unclear about how she feels about the daughter. He's not alone.
When they have this line...
Well, it's all just sort of shoved in and touched on so briefly, and they do spend about as much time with Selene just going, I still can't get over losing Michael. And you're like, okay, got it.
I mean, that Scott Speedman was very dreamy.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
But now we're barreling towards the third act because Celine's got to go.
I thought we were barreling.
Well, yeah, because somebody we haven't talked about in a while because he drops out of this movie for like a half hour is Michael Ealy as Detective Exposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, they basically replaced Speedman with 2 hunks, right? She gets her human hunk and her vampire hunk.
Her human hunk explains why he wants to help her, and and basically it ends up being
she goes
a 2-person assault.
She goes to him and says, "I know you know about the Lycans," and he's like, "Okay, yeah, come with me to the library. Here's." I mean, once again, brilliant writing. Here's a file with all the information you need to know about the Lycan conspiracy.
Yep.
And I got this from a friend who's needlessly complicated.
Yeah, my friend gave it to me.
Who hung himself because he found out the truth?
I guess so.
Once you pull back the curtain and see the werewolves are running the whole thing, death is the only escape.
I don't want to live in a world run by Lycans.
Well, like you're talking about, similar to the is this a worldwide thing? Is this, whatever? What do they mean? What is the government structure? How far up does this go? Because we do see Stephen Ray
all the way to the top. That's what he says.
Well, that's the thing.
All the way to the top.
He does basically say all the way to the top.
This goes pretty high, all the way to the top. I laughed out loud just because it is such a. It's just like rubber stamping a script.
Nixon is behind all
Vampires exist, and someone is covering them up. And as much as we see of that someone are these shadowy figures that Stephen Ray is talking to in his lab, where he's just like, yes, my experiments are going well. Things are on track.
Yeah.
And then, yes, poor Sandrine Holt is the name of the woman who plays his science assistant, who you've seen. And she's one of those people, right, that you're like, oh, I've seen her in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. And she's always solid, and she's very pretty.
Yeah, I mean, she was on Homeland and House of Cards and Better Call Saul and Mr. Robot. Like, she's been in a lot of TV that was popular. But she has nothing to do in this movie because she comes in and goes like, excuse me, I'm sorry. Basically, it boils down to, I'm sorry, are we making super werewolves? And he's like, whoop.
Yeah, she comes in like, I thought my job was to care for that remarkable young woman, and now you're turning her into fodder to make super werewolves? I'm not on board with that.
He's been telling her that they're experimenting on this girl to make a cure for the werewolves and vampires, which is funny because we've already, we started with genocide, and then we went to, why don't we make a cure for
Sure.
Well, we've already wiped most of them out. Maybe we should cure them.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, yeah, no, and actually I'm a werewolf too, and his eyes turn black, and then super werewolf snaps her neck. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, so nothing came of that character. Great.
And it turns out super werewolf is Stephen Ray's son.
Yes.
I will say 2 actors that could look no less alike to be father and son. No, they look so far. All facial features, coloring. They are the farthest apart as far as father and son.
We never see the mother though, so I don't know.
Well, that mother has to look exactly like son because Stephen Ray has such.
I will say this
features.
is a real sticking point for you in a lot of stuff.
I am visual.
So am I, but I can go like.
And I go, okay, adopted maybe, but no, because they're both werewolves, it's got to be genetic, and they don't look anything alike.
It's sort of implied that the son became a werewolf, and then the father infected himself with the werewolf.
Yeah. The Stephen Ray, as we've exposed here, the Stephen Ray stuff in this movie is real muddy. Like it's real, like
sure,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they weren't cracking in the script for sure. Is like, and what is this guy doing?
But they also thought this happens far enough into the movie that we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
By this point, people are just watching what happens next.
Yeah.
What we have established is whatever they're harvesting from Eve is what's making the super werewolf thing possible, where they can like heal instantly, which we establish in the fight between super werewolf and Selene.
Yeah, she literally throws a silver thing into him, and his back just absorbs it.
Yeah, and that's important for how he ultimately dies. And then we also established that they're immune to silver, and that they're also fucking the Incredible Hulk because they're huge.
Yeah, they're just very big.
You know, actually, that's very much something. Goes, what if we had a Hulk werewolf?
What I think is really funny is that every single werewolf in a movie, even if they're a veteran werewolf that have changed a million times, it starts with a hand, and they have to look at their hand. Like, look at it. I'm changing.
That is something we have seen on this show. Yeah.
Just change. That's one of the things I really liked, speaking of the Hulk, in the Avengers, because Bruce Banner just turns and starts going towards that thing, changing into the Hulk. It's not him going like, he's just like, okay, here I go. Boom.
But this movie maybe has the funniest twist on that when he just transforms his hand into the big werewolf paw to attack the elevator.
Yeah.
I did like that. And in that scene, he doesn't have to look at it as it changes because he just knows it's changing.
It's an interesting idea to think you could just wolf out parts of yourself. I don't know.
Yeah. He just had a big old werewolf hand.
Like, what if Bruce Banner could just go Hulk hand?
Dude. Don't give Marvel any free ideas.
Come on, in the decades that's happened. It has to have, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've done everything, right?
Yeah.
If I can think of it, they've probably tried. Anyway, yes, so driving to the third act with the scene a little bit we talked about earlier where he's like, it's Michael Ealy, Detective Exposition, and Selene, and they're driving, and it's daylight, and he goes, wait a minute, what? Shouldn't the sun be affecting you? She's like, no, I drank the Corvinus blood. It's.
Didn't you see the second movie?
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah.
When she says the blood of Corvinus, he's up on that too. He's like going, yes, the original.
How the fuck does he know about Corvinus?
This guy just knows
once the
everything.
War started, he just knew. Well, yeah. Word got out about how they existed.
This guy, he's got all the answers.
He really does. One thing that drove me crazy is when they go to break into the facility, which is what they're about to do, for the entire action sequence, it's just them. It's just the two of them doing an assault on this building.
Well,
she goes in,
it's
he's
mostly
outside.
her. Well, no, he's not. He stays in the lobby to watch the security cameras so that he can just go, Selene, on your left. Selene, they're coming up. Yeah.
There is literally 15 minutes unbroken of him updating her as to where things are, and then going, Selene, do you copy? She never responds to this guy.
Yeah.
Until towards the end when she's like going, on it, or something like that. And it's like, you could literally see him going like, oh, thank God I've been shouting these updates and you never get back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then eventually he's like, Selene, you've got to get Well, you're busy. Ah, fuck it. And he picks up a gun himself to go fight in the parking garage.
Be
but
yes, guy.
Yeah, because all this because his wife was a vampire, and when they started killing vampires, she just killed herself.
Yeah, apparently.
Yep. Great. Fantastic. Yeah, sure. Whatever.
So the ticking clock in all of this is that while the assault is happening, Stephen Ray is trying to perform a DNA extraction on Eve, which basically means like pulling all of her bits out and turning them into juice, I guess.
I mean so. that's as much detail as we get in the movie right there. Yeah. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't. Yeah. But then eventually they're like, oh shit, the gunfight's getting too close to us. We got to do this on the move. So then the rest of the movie is them wheeling the daughter around on a stretcher trying to run from Kate Beckinsale. Yeah. I want to talk about though.
Turned left down that corridor.
That leads us to the most generic third act fight, like arena ever, which is just a parking lot structure.
Yeah, I've seen many a gunfight in a parking garage. But before that, I do want to quickly talk about that because I think this is the thing that really got me is when he drops the elevator on her. She's down. She falls down the elevator shaft. Yes. As we talk about, werewolf guy turns his hand werewolfy, cuts the cables. And as it's falling, her solution to this is to just shoot the bottom of the elevator enough to weaken it that it'll just crumble around her.
Yeah, one of the scenes we missed earlier in the movie is when she enters the infinite ammo cheat so that she can keep doing that.
Yes. It is crazy. I gotta say, that is a real pet peeve of mine in action because that's also just bad writing because the limited amount of ammo is a dramatic thing you can use.
But also,
when you have automatic pistols, John, you want them to fire forever, like Serious Sam.
Also, I will say that even at the bottom of an elevator shaft, there are exits. So, in other words, she could have just walked 3 feet
I don't know what you're talking about.
The path of the elevator.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's not in this. This was a death trap elevator. Anyway, yes, this turns into a multiple part fight, all in just different parts of the parking lot. So we've got Selene running from.
One thing I do love at the end is Detective Exposition essentially becoming Argyle in Die Hard.
Oh yeah,
where he's using his car to block the exit of the van that has the girl in
and then shooting at werewolves with not silver bullets.
Unclear.
Because I did think this guy knows everything about werewolves, but still he's expecting Stephen Ray to die from his normal gun as he's shooting him, and then is surprised that he isn't.
But isn't Stephen Ray silver immune?
No, I thought just the sun was.
Tough to say. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
the sun is a super werewolf. Stephen Ray is just a regular werewolf.
But he says
I've been injecting myself.
Oh, unclear. Yeah. So maybe those are silver bullets. I don't know.
It opens opportunity for Theo James to show up suddenly out of nowhere.
He just appears in the end of this thing. He's like, and I'm here too.
He literally says that. My jaw dropped.
And I swear, I don't know if this is the case. Was this added after the fact? Because he is just on his own with a shotgun.
Nobody interacts with him for the rest of the movie.
That's true. They could be
I'm in a different part
of the day. Like, let's just add that in. We need more.
Yeah, because he's just like, I'm over here. Kabang, kaboo, go. Yeah, I'm over here too.
What's wild about it is it's a steady shot on like an exit ramp.
Yeah.
And it's just him in center of frame as random goons throw themselves at him and he slowly dispatches them and then says, good luck with the rest of the fight, everybody, and leaves.
It was like they got a test in a test screen. Somebody was like, hey, what happened to Theo James? They're like, oh shit, we better reshoot something. So anyway, it ends up in, as my notes say, a CGI tussle. Because at a certain point, everyone is CGI.
Pretty much, yeah.
Did you like when Kate Beckinsale shoulder checked a van? Where she goes like full Superman on something?
Yes, if I clocked it, I don't remember.
She like checks the van that is holding Eve so that it can roll over and free her daughter.
Yeah. And so CGI tussle, lots of fighting, lots of shooting.
The main two conflicts that end up happening is Stephen Ray turns full werewolf,
Yeah,
and is fighting Eve, who has
Yep.
gone full hybrid.
Yep.
And then we
Yeah,
have
the thing is they do
fighting
pair
Super Werewolf.
everybody off. So
Yeah.
it's Stephen Ray versus Eve, and it's Selene versus Uber Wolf.
And
and Theo
then
James shooting.
Yeah, Theo James shooting, and I think Michael Ealy, Detective Expedition, is just unconscious.
Well, yeah, he runs out of bullets, and then he has nothing better to do.
Kinda, yeah.
Bye, everybody. And he does not come back in the next movie. I've just looked, because I'm curious about who.
Oh no!
I mean, probably for Michael Ealy's
our
career.
number one human ally.
Well, I did think it does feel like that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were
There's
just
no
like,
room for humanity in the Blood Wars.
well, hey, we've got to cut the budget in half. Some people have to go, including the daughter of all people. Anyway,
Man.
yeah. So yeah, it ends up the Eve, the daughter, bites out Stephen Ray's throat. Pretty kind.
some pretty good gore effects when
Yeah.
they like tear the back of his spine out, and it's just a little bit of spine dangling
Sure.
and a few neck holes.
But we got to talk about Selene takes out the Uber werewolf because she takes refuge in the stairwell of the parking, which is too small for Super Werewolf to get into. So he has to shrink
so
back down
funny.
to human form to get at her, which is what she counted on.
And then she does a quick jab at his midsection, like literally just penetrates his midsection with her hand.
Yeah.
And she was holding something. Then she yanks her hand out, and he goes, "I've got instant healing, you know." And his
classic
stomach.
A classic action hero response of, "I'm counting on it."
Yeah, she goes, "I'm
What?
counting on it." He's like, "What does that
And
mean?"
she's
and
holding-
then she shows him the pin
Yeah.
of the silver grenade she implanted in his gut. And he
and then
starts going like,
throws
"What?"
the pin at him, which comes straight down the barrel of the
Yep.
lens. So the circle is like coming right at the audience.
That
Yeah.
would have been cool if the movie had been shot in 3D.
Well, luckily, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, whole audiences are going, "Whoa, it's coming!" Anyway, I thought that
yeah.
pin was going to hit me.
He explodes like a vat of beef stroganoff.
Yep. He he explodes into goo, as it says in my notes.
You see the explosion in his gut first, like the initial explosion.
They love that.
Then you see the silver doing its "I'm bubbling underneath him" thing. Then he just...
This was done.
So,
I prefer this when Steven Dorff goes up in Blade. I mean, to be honest.
I know you do.
I work at a like a middle school, high school, and what this reminded me of
Humble
is just this week, the kids in their science classes were doing the classic volcano
Oh
experiments.
yeah.
yeah.
Where you build a paper mache volcano around like a 2-liter, and you fill that with baking soda and vinegar and let it do its grim work. That's what this reminded me of.
Yeah.
Do its grim work.
It's grim. It's
When
they use the dark arts to. But he goes up, and then Detective Exposition is wakes up apparently enough to do his classic. This is another just cop movie and an action thing going. Go on, get out of here. I'll clean this up.
Yep.
With
Man.
what? A mop?
Yeah. What is there to? What is? I mean, like. So little is known about this world. He briefly had a partner earlier in the movie that just disappeared. I have no idea what the police structure is like. He's like, "Don't worry, I'll tell the captain. I'll make up something to tell the captain." What?
Yeah, pretty much.
What are you doing anyway?
Is he like local PD? Is he FBI? Do we know?
I think they say he's a detective. I think he's a local cop in the city. He's a city detective for the city PD.
Yes, good old city PD.
Oh, we forgot to mention, because this sets this up. Earlier in the movie, when she was fighting her way through the bad guys' building, she found Michael frozen, but didn't have time to save him, so she just shot open his freezing chamber, and then they find that he's gone.
Yeah.
And Eve can like get visions from him, so they have a way of tracking him at the end of this movie.
And they're like,
she goes, "He's on the roof," meaning they have they're still taking him. in a helicopter somewhere because the bad guys still
I thought
have.
It was implied that Michael like gets out on his own.
Yeah, because the line at the end is they're still after him.
Them.
No, they said
I think he is still a MacGuffin.
The line she has is that they're still chasing him.
What my idea on this is, I don't think he's ever thought out. They take him out and they get him on the helicopter. The reason I think that is, he also would know that they're there. He would not.
No, okay. I have the last line. Though the world has changed, our enemy remains the same. The Lycans will rebuild and will hunt for her father as they did for her.
So he's loose.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just telling you what it says.
The movie doesn't go out of its way to explain any of this, so it's just as valid of interpretation.
But as they grow stronger, so will we. The vampire coven will not survive this world. We will reclaim it. To which I'm like how that's
you are
bad.
Doing a kind of a British accent. You're not attempting to sound like her at all.
No, I've decided
now I'm sexually confused about whether I'm attracted to Selene at this point. Don't do that to me.
Weird choice that she gave such a lower voice in this one. It was really bizarre. So she does it. But also, that's one of those things where I'm like, do I want the vampires to reclaim the world? I don't like vampires. Vampires are bad.
Are we rooting
That's
for
what I'm
vampires?
saying. We're supposed to be rooting for those poor, abused vampires.
Even though it's their entire fault for enslaving the werewolves in the first place, which was the point of the last movie.
And also, like, Selene's whole backstory is that she was deceived by vampires to become the weapon that she was.
Most of the villains we've seen actually all the villains up to this movie have been vampires.
Yeah, and actually the third movie was all about making us sympathetic toward the Lycans, who were the slave caste. And now we're supposed to think the Lycans.
I always thought the point, and especially with the Speedman character, right, was that they need to just be embraced as one thing. We need to be.
Yes.
But now it's firmly just tribalism again.
Come on, people, now smile on your brother. Everybody.
Is this a weirdly?
Love one another right now.
I did think actually, instead we get Gorgone, as you would call it, some serious butt rock at the end of this movie.
Oh, there's some true tried and true mid-2000s butt rock here.
Even though it's 2012, it's still mid-2000s though.
Button or credit scene, didn't care. Shut it off immediately. Went to sleep.
I don't think there is anything.
Good.
I didn't stay through all the credits, but I watched some. That's
all right. That's it. Do we recommend?
No, not this one. I think I've recommended the other three, and I think those are fun. And that was my memory of having watched through these before. Is that the first three are fun enough, but this one is a snooze.
Yep.
There's just nothing here. Gorgone, anything? Any defense of this movie?
Oh, he liked it.
No, look. My defense of this sort of film, and especially like once we get into the fourth iteration of a thing where it's sort of like bending over backwards to both expand and contract its own lore, right? Because you don't want to stray too far away from the premise, but also the premise is completely spent. So the movie is sort of on a treadmill now, at least where the franchise is concerned. And so it can feel tired, and that is what this movie feels, is tired.
And the ending, the thing about like we will go on to reclaim it, I'm like, oh man, so there's just no end in sight. These movies are just about perpetuating themselves now, right?
Yeah.
Every movie's going to end like this. There's no goal in mind. They have no end point. They'll just find a new conflict, and they could make these forever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
spoiler, they don't, but
What's the difference in years? Let's see. Underworld Evolution was 2006. This one was 2012. So they take a 6-year gap in which the only entry into the franchise is like
Rise
a
of
straight
Lycans.
to DVD. I mean, did Rise of Lycans get a theatrical release?
Oh yeah.
Okay, but even then, like Kate Beckinsale, obviously not super involved in that movie, other than the weird last scene of the film.
Yeah, which I think is just repurposed footage.
Yeah, but. So, like, you have this 6-year gap where it's like, okay, we need to get back to something that makes money. What about those Underworld movies? This doesn't feel like a continuation of the franchise that feels purposeful or feels like, we have more to tell with this story.
I think it's true of most franchises that the initial creators who had a real vision, and I'm saying that in air quotes.
Well, I think they did. Whether or not
or
you like that
drive to
vision, it did feel like they were earnest. The first couple movies at least
what
feel
I
like
was going to say.
yeah, there was
is
an
that
earnestness.
I think that this started with something akin to passion.
Yeah.
But in all franchises,
RPG Vampire the Masquerade, yes, that
it
passion.
just ends
I was
up in
waiting
other
for Gorgone to
hands,
mention that.
and it's people trying to keep a dead thing alive,
Well,
and they don't care.
And the fact that this one actually dragged back in the original filmmaker, like, I know you're making another movie, but could you just real quick just give us a couple things? Like, Len Wiseman, I know you're busy, but you just get maybe just a couple ideas or something.
If you don't help us, we have to call Kevin.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And I can't understand what he's saying half the time.
What about post-apocalyptic?
All right.
He just keeps talking about post-apocalyptic Frankenstein. It's crazy.
That's not quite a wrap on Underworld. I will not be sad to see it go.
There's still an imminent blood war, Brendan. What are you talking about?
About the Blood Wars.
Yeah.
But what about the blood? But please tell me, what is coming up next week?
Well, next week on the show, you know what? This one we talk about is a little corporate slapped together. Let's get a little indie. Let's get a little artsy next week. And maybe we've already recorded this episode because of scheduling of stuff. So let's talk about what happens when you have a kiss of the damned.
Oh, Kiss of the Damned.
Kiss of the Damned. That's right. It's an artsy.
Spoilers on that. We're going
indie-
to let you hear that.
Yeah,
fresh.
because we definitely did these in order and didn't have to deal with scheduling of guests. Kiss of the Damned is a very indie, artsy take on the vampire mythos from Jean Cassavetes. Not John Cassavetes. Jean Cassavetes. Jean Cassavetes.
Yeah, this is a Nepo baby movie.
Yeah.
And, well, enjoy.
Enjoy. Yeah. I think you can tell we loved it, is what we're saying. Yeah, anyway.
Definitely an episode to listen to. But I would like to thank Mr. Gorgone for dropping by.
Indeed.
Always a pleasure.
And Gorgone, of course, can be heard every week on May the Panel Be With You right here on the Punch Up Antan Network, where he and I talk about Star Wars comics throughout the history of the franchise. And as well as you are the host or GM or DM. I'm not sure what you're up to over there.
It depends on the season, John.
That's right. On Material Components. I know because there's a new there's I think the season that will probably be airing by the time people hear this will have a different DM.
Have you ever been a
GM.
PM or a WM? Have you ever been a page master or a wish master?
Yes, both of those things. I've also been a keymaster and I've also been a Black and Decker and a master wrench. But other than that,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
While you're listening to this, you're probably listening to the alt history Shadow Kingdom mini arc that we're doing with our good friend Cole Fiala as the DM of that series, where I am actually playing as a bride of Dracula myself in that season.
There you go.
Can you give us a little taste of the voice you've come up with for that character?
Don't encourage him.
The voice I am using for Alessandra Beccansale Landau Demetriou, the bride of Wallachia.
I like that you have put no gates or fences around your acting imagination. You're now a pretty vampire lady.
Yeah, I am.
And I've always thought of you that way. Anyway.
I always hoped you and Dracula would end up together, so I'm really glad to know that.
So next week, Kiss of the Damned.
Kiss of the Damned.
Without Gorgone, man, you dodged a bullet. And
Gorgone will be back in a couple months' time on this show, though. Don't worry. Yeah,
he's going to be our.
There's a blood war. There's a post-apocalyptic Frankenstein. You got plenty of stuff to talk about.
He's going to be our wartime correspondent.
That's right.
Blood Wars.
We're putting him out in the field. But in the meantime, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Brendan Jones.
And remember, there are such things as monsters.